What's good, everybody? Hope you guys are doing good. Happy 4th of July. Whatever you're doing today, hopefully you're off from work and you're safe. Those are the two things. You're chilling and you're safe. Alright guys, so every day we got something crazy going on with this whole stimulus thing. So I'm going to go over a few updates today and what we can look forward to in the upcoming weeks. Alright, so Trump is trying to push through new stimulus checks, as we already know. Here are some key takeaways. There may finally be a new check update soon, with Congress appearing increasingly likely to take action on a new package later this month. The latest indication of that being the case came in an interview with South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham gave on Fox Morning, in which he's a Trump ally. He said he supports the Senate taking new action on a stimulus package in a matter of weeks. This time, of course, as the bug continues to rage with its effect on public health, continuing to drastically worsen and create massive tremors in the economy. Alright, so Congress needs to act in July to continue this trend, Graham said. According to the Labor Bureau of Statistics, data shows that the U.S. added 4.8 million jobs in June. If we had the right kind of stimulus package, he continued, we would be going through the roof by October in terms of economic growth. That's good news. So economic growth is good. However, I'm going to show you guys, I have a link here that's going to give us a better understanding of unemployment and what's going on and different metrics and how we can measure it. In other news too, Trump signed the PPP extension. So that is for business owners. And that was on Saturday. So today is Saturday. So he signed it today. He signed legislation that extends the deadline for businesses to apply for PPP, which stands for Payment Protection Program. So here's some key notes. The bill extends the deadline for business to apply until August 8th. The program, set up to assist business impacted by closures related to the bug, expired Tuesday night with roughly $130 billion left unused. So if you're a small business owner and you were trying to sign up for this thing and you thought it was done, now's your chance. You can potentially sign up for it depending on your specific circumstance. Alright, let's continue on here. The Senate surprisingly passed legislation by unanimous consent late Tuesday, extending the program before it was set to expire. The House took up the Senate bill and passed it by unanimous consent by Wednesday, and they sent it to Trump's desk. And then looks like today Trump put this thing into effect. The program was established by a $2 trillion stimulus package negotiated by the White House and congressional leaders and signed into law at the end of March. And in case you guys aren't aware, in the beginning it did have a lot of chaos. The program experienced a chaotic rollout, which has been popular, but with the Small Business Administration lending more than $520 billion in emergency loans to more than 4.8 million small businesses. And let's see what else we got here. So yeah, this was something that they want to pass in the meanwhile until they get more concrete information on what they're going to do with a potential stimulus package. The second stimulus check could hurt student loan forgiveness. This is also a big problem. Student loan forgiveness. If you guys have student loans, hopefully you pay them off quickly because potentially things get ugly. Alright, so let's see what they're telling us here. If a second stimulus checks are included in the next stimulus, the chance of any student loan forgiveness will go from low to near zero. Here's why. Okay, let's see. Let's hear them out, see what their reasoning is for this. Okay, the most likely scenario, if approved, is a one-time second stimulus check through the House. Having passed the HEROES Act, the House Democrats proposed a one-time stimulus of up to $1,200 for individuals and $1,200 for each dependent, and both include a one-time $1,200 check. The CARES Act and HEROES Act, the $2.2 trillion stimulus package, it would be a general dollar range. So they're trying to figure out how much they're going to spend on it. But let's see how does this tie into student loans. Second stimulus check and student loan forgiveness. Okay, so let's see if they finally get to their point, because I don't see what they're trying to say here. So it may cost the federal government approximately $300 billion. The first stimulus checks. Second check, another $1,200. However, Trump has indicated that he wants to have a greater amount, which my prediction is going to be more than $1,200. This guy is running for re-election. He's going to have a higher amount, just a prediction. McConnell's been focused on other priorities such as payroll tax cut, return to work bonus, and other financial incentives for businesses. For Senate Republicans and the president, these economic priorities are more essential than student loan forgiveness at the time. McConnell said the next stimulus would cost $1 trillion. A second round of stimulus would likely push total spending over $2 trillion. Okay, here we go, guys. Now we're getting somewhere. Student loan forgiveness. Democrats have said to cancel student loan debt of $10,000 for each borrower. For example, if 45 million student loan borrowers each receive $10,000 of student loan forgiveness, the total cost would be $450 billion. That number could be less if only federal student loans are canceled, even lower if only certain borrowers are granted student loan forgiveness. That would be a lot of money for student loan forgiveness. Fortunately, I graduated without being in debt. You guys let me know in the comments below. Do you guys have any student loan debt, and what's your plan to pay it off if you can? Now, the stock futures, this is going to play this is basically what's going to impact what we're going to get with another stimulus check, if we get another check, and for how much. So Europe stock declines with US futures, oil slips, markets wrap. This is from July 3rd, so yesterday. This is pretty new. Now let's see what basically on this article, I went through it earlier. Now they're talking about the markets and how, let's see here, the futures. So here you go. Some main moves in the stocks. So stocks future on S&P 500 index decreased by 0.4%. Europe, Asia, they're all down. Currencies, Bloomberg dollar spot index fell 0.1%. The euro, the yuan, the British pound advanced a little bit. Bond, Germany's 10-year yield declined less than 1 basis point. Okay, so that's what we got right now. This is before we go into next week. As you can see, we are in the green. Oil is still down, but S&P 500, the Dow, they're up. And anything can happen, guys. Trump sneezes and the markets move. We just have to sit back and see what happens. Alright guys, so I'm going to go over the June job numbers once again really quickly. So record 4.8 million jobs were created in June, beating the record set last month. This is from the whitehouse.gov website. So it says here, our nation's economy broke another record. 4.8 million jobs were added in June, bringing the economic comeback to 7.5 million. Good numbers. As you can see here, payroll job losses by sector since February 2020. June gain, May gain, February, April loss not made up yet. So the yellow, the losses, they've been pretty heavy. The May and June gains are slowly gaining ground across the sectors. It's going to be a while before we get anywhere near where we were before. Now, here we go. This is what I was telling you guys earlier. Measures of unemployment 2020. So they have two different ways of measuring this thing. So there's something called a CEA corrected unemployment rate and then official unemployment rate. Now, what is the CEA corrected unemployment rate? So CEA's corrected unemployment rate is calculated by first taking the difference between the reported count of unemployed but not at work for other reasons and the value for that indicator for that month in 2016, 2019. When we sum the difference with the reported number of unemployment and divided by the seasonally adjusted labor force, the CEA corrected unemployment rate is not seasonally adjusted. So that's a big part of it too. A lot of these jobs that were gained, a lot of them are seasonal work because a lot of places are closed. You got essentials that are open, and those places that are essential, they're slammed, they're busy, and they need more employees. And a lot of employees are catching this bug and they're out. So these numbers can be misleading because it only takes into effect, the way they measure it isn't always accurate. They take a lot of things out of it, and depending on which number you're using, and all these things are going to have a huge effect on stocks going forward. If investors want to pull out, how much people are going to spend on stocks. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, guys. We just have to wait and see. But here's what's weird. Here's something weird. For 2 consecutive months, we have experienced the largest job gain in history. That's all we got. I'm not even going to go over the rest of it. The largest job gain in history for the past 2 months. Okay, let's continue here. Remarks by the president on jobs numbers report. So the president wanted to thank everybody for the job reports. In June, 2.1 million leisure and hospitality jobs, 740,000 retail jobs, 568,000 education and healthcare jobs, 357,000 service jobs. These are all historic numbers. And also manufacturing, 356,000 jobs. I'm really happy with what I see with manufacturing. African American workers really happily for me made historic gains with 404,000 jobs added last month, and that's a record. And the second largest jump will be last month. And what we have, if you add the 2 months together, is 700,000 jobs for African American workers added in the last 2 months, and that's a record by a lot. Also, Hispanic employment is up about 1.5 million. 3 million more women were employed in the month of June, a record. Never had a number like that. So that's good. Always good to see those groups of people getting jobs and being employed. That's good. Now, here's something also that ties into the college degrees and loan forgiveness. This is fresh off the press, guys, a week ago. Trump executive order directs feds to prioritize skills over college degrees in hiring. That's interesting. So it looks like what he's planning to do here, President Trump is reportedly preparing to direct employers on how they should hire, prioritizing applicants' skills over a university degree. It's going to be very interesting. The order is expected to occur during a board meeting that advises the administration on work policies. Now, this is something going forward that's definitely has potential to be very, very good, because college is getting very expensive. And if you can go learn a trade, and after you learn your trade, you can go into the field, that might be a better move than going to college, getting a 4-year degree, getting a ton of debt, and maybe, just maybe, being able to find a job and eventually paying down your debt. A lot of these trades, electricians, plumbers, those type of jobs are always in demand, and it could be a much better option than going into thousands of dollars worth of debt with potentially taking years to find a job, especially now with everything that is going down. This is from debt.org. As we can see here, students in debt. Total U.S. student loan debt, 1.4 trillion. Student debt accrued every second, almost $3,000. Average student debt in 2017 is $37,000, guys. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of debt. And the numbers, it's hard to fathom here. Popular misconceptions regarding student loan include it's good debt. It is if you get a diploma and a job. The total amount you take as a loan should not exceed your first year's salary. Loans automatically renew until I graduate. Loans typically are for 1 year. If you or your family financial situation change, your loan awards could too. Okay, basically the point is this: student loans can set you back many, many years, depending on what field you're going to go into. Obviously, if you're going to go into the legal profession, you're trying to be a doctor, obviously a brain surgeon, you're going to want somebody with a degree, obviously. But if you're going to potentially not do that, you might want to reconsider and look at your options. Student loan debt became a $1.6 trillion crisis. And like I was telling you guys, it's adding up. It's only going to be a matter of time. The bubble is going to burst. Whether they forgive student loans or whether or not they just allow the bubble to grow, we have to wait and see. I don't know what's going to happen. Some 44 million Americans hold over 1.6 trillion in student debt. Today, college graduates earn 80% more than those with just a high school degree or high school diploma on average. Yeah, but you really don't need it at this point in time. Everything is online. College is more expensive and important than ever before. This is from CNBC, so they're going to have a more pro-college leaning agenda. Here we go. During the 2008 recession, many people opted to go back to school and learn new skills. However, since then, the cost of a 4-year degree increased by 25% and student debt increased by 107%, and many are less sure if college will be the solution to riding out a recession this time around. History of student debt. Basically, all we need to know is there's a lot of student debt, and it may not be the best option going forward. Alright guys, that's going to bring us to this video. Basically went over the main key points, the PPP extension, and the few updates that Trump was having with the stimulus check, and then our issue with student loans and executive order prioritizing skills over college degrees. Those are the main things I want to cover in this video. Hopefully you guys have better insight into what's going on, and stock futures, we're going to have to wait and see. Like I said, the most minor thing could come out in the news today, tomorrow, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 24 hours, and next thing you know, the market's going to be a complete 180. We just got to wait and see. Alright guys, that's going to be the next video. As always, if you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, don't forget to give it a like. Until next time, peace.